Sorry about that. That's just to piss off the people who bitch about me smoking during videos. Capricious Black Box. I believe I've done you a disservice by not making sure I knew what you were trying to say in your renouncing atheist videos before I went and made a video that pretty much only said one of two things I meant to say to you about what the word atheist really means. Now, that last video, why Capricious Black Box is an atheist, was more to say to you, bro, don't feel bad. And don't be afraid of being called an atheist because you are one. Here's the real why. I'm an atheist. You're an atheist. And here's the crutch. People who say they're agnostic, they're atheists. Okay, people like maybe the Messianic Manic, who I respect, but I might talk some shit about here a little bit, or speak about them in a bad light, him in a bad light. People who say they're a theological non-cognitivist, or an agnostic, or an atheist. Three words that pretty much all mean that the concept of God is incoherent, which is true, but they're atheists. And here is why I have to defend the word atheist against those who'd rather be called agnostic, or rather be called theological non-cognitivists, or other such frou-frou words. Okay. No matter what you get off Wikipedia, no matter what some douche gets off of Oxford or Merriam-Webster or dictionary.com, all atheism means is lack of belief in God or gods. Period. It is not a statement of surety that God does not exist. Not true. Because anybody like you and me and Messianic Manic who are educated in the scientific method and how things are proven to exist know that the concept of God is not falsifiable. It's not only not provable, but you can't prove it's not so. Partly because, yes, it's an incoherent concept. And it is in no way scientifically testable. So, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that a person in today's day and age who says that they're an agnostic is saying one of three things. One, they do not believe in God, but they are not invested enough in the argument over whether or not God exists to say the word atheist in reference to themselves. Number two, they don't feel qualified to make a statement either through lack of education on the subject or lack of interest in the subject, whatever. They don't feel qualified enough to say atheist. So they say agnostic. And that would be because of a misconception about what the word atheist means. And number three, they say they're agnostic, the traditional, no. But the point is, all three of those, they don't believe and they don't know for sure because they're not educated. So really only two. It's either one, they're not invested enough. Well, actually the third one, not invested, not educated, afraid of the word atheist and its social connotations. Now, somebody says they're a theological non-cognitivist is saying they're an atheist. However, they're making a clarification of why they believe. Doesn't matter. There is no such thing as an agnostic atheist. That is a redundant statement. You might as well say they're an agnostic, again, for the three reasons that I clarified. Not invested, / don't care, don't feel educated enough, or are afraid of the word atheist. Doesn't matter. They are an atheist. So they are attempting, in the same way that a person says they're a theological non-cognitivist, to clarify why they're an atheist. Doesn't matter. Foul. Throwing the flag. Atheist. 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 And it's unfair, I guess, depending on what a person is trying to say, oh, you should say you're a free thinker or a rationalist. It depends on what you're trying to say. Because in the same way I said, if you're not talking about being an atheist, you don't have to say you're an atheist. That goes without saying. It is almost unfair to say you're a free thinker when you're really saying you're an atheist. Because being a free thinker and being an atheist are not inclusive. Okay? You can be a free thinking theist. So it's almost an unfairness in the other direction. I say I'm an atheist because, yes, I understand through being educated that I am unqualified to say there is no God. I believe that there's absolutely no evidence to assume there is, and the overwhelming way in which this crazy universe operates completely without God being needed to explain it is enough evidence for me to be pretty sure of that. But here's where this social misconception of atheists goes horribly awry. There seems to be an insinuation, an inference, that is to say you're an atheist is to say that not only are you sure that there's no God, but you can't be convinced that there is. And any educated, science-minded, interested and invested atheist would never say such a thing. And in fact, no great champion of atheism has ever said that they cannot be convinced. Many of them, in their militantism, have said that they would never willfully worship him, say the Christian God, for example, or Allah. It's the same person. That they would not gladly worship and they would not convert to the religion, but they would believe if there were sufficient evidence that the guy exists. That's beside the point. It is a misconception, and it is wrong to say that an atheist cannot be swayed. Okay, that's a further clarification. And the fear of being called an atheist for fear of somebody inferring that of you is kind of cowardly. Okay? Now, as I did say before, and I feel I should have to say again because it is relevant, if you do not want to be associated with other visible atheists because you don't appreciate the reasons why they believe and the clarifications that they make, that is not a good excuse for abandoning the term atheism, because it's simply lack of belief. And you lack the belief, Capricious Black Box. Now, I guess, in closing, it's unfair of me to say that Bionic Dance is dumb. Don't know her, don't watch her vids. For the same reason as I've trash-talked her before, I find her personality and manners of speaking insufferable. However, you mentioned a couple of times in your first video and in some comments that Bionic Dance said that rocks and babies and trees and air and whatever are atheist. It's not true. Yes, it is true that atheism means lack of belief, and belief is an operative word. Rocks can't believe things. Babies is a little bit more of a gray area, but really, with what we understand about neurology, no, babies can't believe things like that. They can't possess faith. And so therefore, no, rocks are not atheists. That's fucking stupid. And part of the reason why I find Bionic Dance insufferable, because he said such things, is Theism, as it stands today, monotheism especially, when it comes to Christianity, Judaism, Muslims, even several sects of Buddhism, if not all of them, really all of them, are easily mocked. Their beliefs are nonsensical and non-scientific and uneducated and dogmatic and superstitious. I do not need to say rocks are atheists to add this superficial weight to the argument of atheists and atheism. Not only is it not necessary, but it's demeaning to the argument of an atheist to say such a stupid fucking thing as that rocks are atheists. That's fucking stupid. Rocks don't believe anything. They're rocks. It's the same reason why human beings don't have souls, because minds only come from brains. Now, somebody sends Bionic Dance out cracking rocks, you let me know when she finds a brain. Okay? Stupid. Anyway, I hope that makes a little bit more sense to you, Capricious Black Box. You can make whatever clarification you want. You can simply not specify and have it be inferred. If you don't like the word and you're afraid of the connotations, it's braver to not say it at all and let people infer it than to go and say something else. An agnostic is an atheist. A theological non-cognitivist is an atheist. And a non-religious person is an atheist. Okay? Maybe a deist. But let's be frank, again, and make one more assumption before I go. When someone says they're not religious, they might be saying they're a deist, but they're probably making a similar act of cowardice as the person who says they're an agnostic. I believe that is not unfair to make that assumption. It may not be scientific, but a person who, when push comes to shove, sticks with non-religious or sticks with agnostic or says something is nonsensical and incoherent as agnostic atheist, or jumps the gun and maybe gets a little smarmy fedora-y and says theological non-cognitivist, they're all saying the same word, atheist. Okay? So, think about that. And I hope you get a chance to watch this before you respond to my other video. And you have my absolute permission to yada yada yada, chop, whatever, play this. So people can see my ugly mug. It's another atheist asshole, fedora wearing, hipster douche, whatever, signing off. I don't care. I'm an atheist, not afraid to say it. You should not be afraid either.